Hello, I'm Anna. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips for using images in your email marketing. Now, images are a big part of email, particularly if you're operating in the e-commerce space. But even if your brand is not in the e-commerce space, if your business is not in the e-commerce space, images can still be a useful tool for communicating with your audience via email. And so these 5 tips will be very helpful if you're currently using images or if you're not and you're considering making them part of your email marketing. Now, tip number 1, and this is super important. I cannot stress this enough. Do not make your entire email a single image. Don't do it. Don't do it. There are so many things wrong with using a single image. And what I mean by that is I've seen a lot of email templates, and some big brands are guilty of this as well. They will design the entire email, whether in Illustrator, Photoshop, wherever. I know there are lots of them in Canva, with all the sections, and then just upload that single image as the entire body of the email. And this can be problematic for several reasons. One, images sometimes fail to load. Whether it is the individual subscriber has images disabled or some other random unfortunate stroke of bad luck, and that image does not load and your subscriber is left with a blank email with no information. Another challenge with making a single image the entire body of the email is you don't know where a subscriber has clicked on why, because you only have one image. And so if there are multiple products on that single image, or if there's text different from images, you don't know, there's no data to go on. And so it makes it really difficult when you're ready to optimize and evaluate your email results. So tip number 1, do not use a single image as the entire body of your email. Okay, now that we've cleared that up, tip number 2, make sure that you're using alt text for all the images in your emails. I mentioned in tip 1 that sometimes images don't load and there are subscribers who have images disabled. And so alt text, alt is short for alternative text, and alt text is that text that you write in to describe your image. And I made one other video eventually on how to effectively write alt text, but that's essentially what it is. And so if your image does not load, that alt text will tell the subscriber or the reader what that image is supposed to be about. Likewise, if there are readers who are visually impaired or have other challenges and need to use a screen reader, alt text will convey the messaging for that particular image with text. So that's essentially what that is, and that's why it's so important to include alt text whenever you're using images in your emails. Now to tip number 3, make sure that you're using the right file size. Now, there's lots of different schools of thought on this one, but generally speaking, you want to make sure that your images are not too large. Size of the image can affect load time and just overall user experience. And so you want to make sure that your images are not too large, not too tiny. As a general rule of thumb, did some research and this number is still in effect. You want to stay under 600 pixels wide on average. And again, some of these are not absolutes. They may vary by industry, they may vary by email service provider, etc. Email client, sorry. They're not absolutes, but they're definitely guides that will help to improve the performance of your emails. So you want to stay under 600 pixels for the width of the images. As far as image size, below 2 megs is a good idea. I know a lot of email service providers limit the file size you can upload, so that already makes it a little easier for you. But you want to stay below 2 megs per image, and you also want to stay within the range of 600 pixels wide per image. All right. Tip number 4 is still about, it's related to size, but not quite. Tip number 4 is make sure you're choosing the right file type. Now, as far as images, there are 3 file types that you can use in your emails. You may use a JPEG file, you may use a PNG file, or you may use a GIF. I say GIF. I don't know what the right thing is. And so just a quick rundown of what those are. JPEG is a standard image file that most of us, if not all of us, are aware of and familiar with. Typically, it packs a significant amount of data in a smaller file size. And so it's the ideal or recommended option. If, however, you are using images that have text on them, a PNG file may be better because PNG files are less pixelated than JPEGs, and so they convey that information, i.e. text data, a little better, or a lot better actually. But the trade-off is that your PNG files are going to be a little larger than your JPEG files. And then we have GIFs, which are moving images, which are a good option if you want it to go video but not quite. One use case for GIFs that I've seen that works very well is with my SaaS clients who sell software services. So like showing the user what specific steps are like to click through. GIFs work very well for that when you cannot embed an image in the body of an email. And most email service providers do not allow you to embed and play images within the email. And so GIFs are a good option for that. But even if you're not in the, in the SaaS space, even if you're not showing the user specific steps in a software, GIFs are a great way to add some personality, which leads me to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to experiment with GIFs. I love them. I use them in emails all the time for myself and for clients. The key here, though, you want to make sure that the GIFs that you're choosing align with your brand. Don't just choose GIFs for choosing them sake, or just for the sake of being funny or entertaining. You want to make sure that they align with your brand and that you're not turning off subscribers or sending the wrong message by using them in your emails. So those are my 5 tips. And I also have a bonus tip for you. And this bonus tip is to make your images clickable, to hyperlink your images in your emails. This may seem pretty obvious if your business is e-commerce, because of course, when you include product photos, you would likely make them clickable to go to a product page. But if your business is not e-commerce, this one may not be as obvious. For example, if you're selling digital products or even a service, a coaching program, or some other online service, web design, social media marketing, etc. When you're including images, it's a good idea to make them clickable. For whatever reason, images get clicked a lot in emails. I don't know if it's a curiosity factor. I haven't done the research behind this and I probably should. But whenever I look at click maps for my emails and for client emails, I notice that people click on images a lot. Even if they're not directly related to the text, they click the images a lot. So it's an opportunity for you to link out to relevant pages. So again, example, you're a coach, you're selling a coaching program, there's an image in there just below, whatever text where you've talked about the program. Use that image as an opportunity to link out to the program. It's an extra opportunity that you don't want to waste, right? If people are going to be clicking, make sure when they click it goes somewhere. So that's my bonus tip for you. Make your images clickable or hyperlink your images. So quick recap of the 5 tips plus the bonus. Number 1, do not use a single image as the entire email. Number 2, make sure you're using alt text for your images. Number 3, make sure you're choosing the right file size for your images. Number 4, make sure you're choosing the right file type. Number 5, do not be afraid to experiment with GIFs. And the bonus point number 6, be sure to make your images clickable or to hyperlink your images. So that's it. Those are the tips that I have for you. They should be helpful as far as utilizing images in your email marketing. If you liked this video, be sure to click the subscribe button and like as well. Leave a comment if you have a question about anything I've said here or email marketing in general. I'm just getting into recording videos for these, and I have lots of topics lined up, but it's always nice to hear what information you're looking for. So be sure to leave a comment if there's a specific topic you want me to tackle. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it, and I will be seeing you soon in the next video.